Evening, everyone. It's 7:52 on Tuesday night. I know that I'm a little late, but I had an appointment in Boston, and there will be no daily note tonight, just tonight's closing comment. Okay, so on the news front, we had the PPI today, and on a month-over-month basis, it was up as expected, 0.6%. 4/10 X food, energy, and trade for those of you who don't eat food or drive a car. On a year-over-year basis, though, it was a stunning 8.6%. That's unchanged from last month, but it also happens to be an all-time record high. On a X food and energy, it was 6.8%, which is also tied with last month's and is also a high. Okay, so this morning I warned you not to be the last one to buy NVIDIA. NVIDIA was trading this morning up around $15 or so. In fact, it traded as high as 323 and then came back down to earth to 299 and change. Closed 301.20 down 679, just 2.2%, but 8% off the high. Tesla continues to falter. Frankly, I did not see this coming. I did expect it to be down, and of course, it was down yesterday on the over the weekend news. And I was thinking that 1,050 or so would probably be the bottom, but today it closed 1,023.5. That's down 139.44 or 12%. Frankly, I think the stock's a buy. That's just me. EVGO and their deal with General Motors. The stock had traded as high as 1870 pre-market, but once the market opened, the best it could do was 1776. Traded down as low as 1418 on the sell-off in the market. And closed 14.95, still up a very respectable $1.52, 11.3%. PayPal this morning with their miss on they beat on revenues, and Venmo signed this deal to be accepted with Amazon. And, the stock looked pretty good, although it had traded as high as 244 yesterday after closing 229 and change. This morning it was 215, down 14. It managed to close at 205 and change, down 24, 10.5%. Roblox was a beat, and this morning it was 96.90, up 19.90, and it managed to close $10 higher than that, 109.52, up 32.52. And that is a 42% move. This is clearly one of those metaverse stocks. And I only mention it specifically because I also mention it in the context of the chips that they need to run this metaverse, which is, a big project over at Facebook, or Meta Platforms, as they now call it, and Roblox, and, a couple of other of these companies. They're made by NVIDIA, and I think that has a lot to do with the last 2 or 3 or 4 days of NVIDIA's monster run the past 6 weeks. GE on the breakup news this morning was trading at 116 and change, up 7.2%. The stock closed 111.29, only up 287, which is still 2.7%. But the issue there, I think, is really based on the fact that it's going to take a while for this to happen. They're talking about aviation, health, and energy, and it looks like healthcare may be the first to be separated out as a public company, but they're not talking about that until mid to late 2023, so not even next year, 18 months from now. And AMC, what can I say about this one? They're going into the popcorn business, and while that's a great markup for a business, big margins, I don't know that people are that crazy about AMC popcorn. I heard a teleprompter reading about it this morning, talking about how they love the popcorn and especially that butter, which in fact is not butter. It's an oil based something that sort of tastes like butter. So there's that. And then, of course, Adam Aaron is also going into the crypto business. They may have their own crypto. So basically, this is 1999, where if you put .com on the end of your name, just substitute crypto for that today, and you get 15 or 20% jump automatically. Not so with AMC. This morning it was 42.70 down 236. It traded down to close 39.86 down 520. So the move to the downside over doubled. That's 11.5%. And PUBM. This is an advertising company, and they reported this afternoon, and the stock was higher all day. They beat, and then they guided even higher for the next quarter. And the stock, which closed 32.11, up 221, then traded up to 42.98 and closed at 40.01, up $10.11, 34%. So a really nice move there. And, I can't say that they deserve it or they don't deserve it, but they did come out with great numbers and great guidance. And we're not seeing a lot of that. RIVN, RIVN, the pricing was raised from 57 to 62 to 72 to 74. It is now priced 135 million shares at 78 for a market cap of 70 billion, and that doesn't count if it opens to the upside. That's just what the valuation would be at 78. So Dow down 112, 0.3%. Advanced declines, not terrible, 6 to 5 to the downside. Nasdaq down 95.81, or 0.6%. Advanced declines 3 to 2 to the downside. Volume was about unchanged, right around 5.4 billion. The S&P down 1645 or 0.35. The Russell down 0.6%, down 1545. And the transports, the big loser, down 1.39%, 234.93. Now, last night I told you that what was unusual was the fact that even though the market was up, the VIX was also up. Closed 1722, up 11.5% yesterday. Today was a little tamer, 1778, up just 56 cents, or 3.25%. Okay, in the futures, the oil just burst right back to the upside. The recent high was 85.41, and tonight's high is 84.97. So it has recovered from that big sell-off from last night. Now, tomorrow we have both the oil and the nat gas inventories. So we'll see what's going on there. As you can see, we are right back to the same high-end area. I still think we're probably going to 90 or higher, but we were 84.15 up 222 today. The gold acted a little better. By the way, that nat gas had a huge down day today. It's about unchanged tonight, but today it was very soft. Broke $5 again, back to the downside, traded as low as 491, closed 497.80, and that was down 45 cents. That's a pretty big move. I'm still using this area around 475 as support, maybe down to 450, but it looks kind of toppy. But let's also remember that the cold weather, not here nor in Eastern Europe, has really arrived yet. So we'll see what's going on there. And it's not just Eastern Europe, it's also the UK and France and Spain. All of these places are just massive shortages. Okay, the gold is up $1.40 tonight. It was up $2.80. So this is the first time in a while that we have not run up and immediately come right back down. I mean, it's early tonight, and I don't know what tomorrow will hold, but a lot of these big rally days also included a sell-off. This one was a beautiful rally off a nice consolidation. It got up to 1815, but then closed under 1800, up $10 on the day, but big off the high. This one, where it challenged that same 1815 area to 1813, closed up only 380 and down towards the low. This is the first time that we've had a test of a low. This one was 1758, so 1760. And by the way, that was Dennis's almost exact number for where he wanted to buy it. We closed kind of down near the low, 25, and then the next morning we started right back up. Higher high, higher low, trading up to 1800, followed by the 5th, which was Friday. Higher high again, higher low again, closing up 23. All of these other days where we had these nice rallies, we closed on the low. This is the first time that we're not giving that up. Now, this downtrend line goes right through here. But we're on top of all of the moving averages, and if we can get a close above 1835.80, so 1836 or so, which happened to be pretty close to today's high, 1834 and change, we would break both the recent highs. We would have the sell-off, rally to a lower high, a test of the recent lows down here around 1675, a rally up, a higher low, a rally up, a higher low. If we break out here, I can easily see us at 1870 to 1900, and Dennis's number is right around that same thing, about 1880. Bitcoin traded as high as 69,000 today, another new record high, closed 67,625, and tonight it's down a little, down 570 after being up 1140 today. So just to show you, I wouldn't have any problem with it coming down to 64,000 and testing this most recent breakout and still be very bullish. As you can see, the 5-day has turned up and it is above all of the other moving averages, the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day MAs. So structurally very strong. I just want to make mention on the bonds because with the PPI, and tomorrow we have the CPI, which is the consumer side of it, we've had this big rally in the bonds. Now, we started that rally last week on the jobs number. We started it actually with the ADP number and then the jobs number. And it didn't really make a lot of sense to me that we would have a big beat, a big jump on the jobs number up to over 500,000 after the prior week was prior month was 194, and that the bonds and the Fed would come out and say we're going to begin the taper, and bonds would actually rally. Dennis and I were talking about this today, and his point is that the bonds are moving up because the market knows the economy is not strong, has heavy inflation, and is not in great shape. And when I look at the other European markets and see what their rates are, that's kind of what it feels like. So it's a hard one to figure. Okay, tomorrow we have CPI. We have wholesale inventories. As I said, we have oil and natural gas inventories. And for some reason, MarketWire says that we have claims tomorrow, but tomorrow's only Wednesday and claims are usually Thursday. If there's some reason why that's the fact, I'll report it in the morning. But otherwise, CPI is plenty important, as are wholesale inventories. And there's not that much else to say about it. All right, everyone. Sorry about the lack of a daily note tonight. I'll be back first thing in the morning with all of those numbers and a pre-opening comment. Have a